As you guys know, I've been sick it was actually 2 weeks on the dot. I was sick for 2 weeks. And it was just a flu, but it was like a really bad flu. I lost my voice. I had headaches, body aches, all that stuff. And for what I do as a coach, my voice is kind of the only thing that I do. So it was really important. And what this sickness made me do is nothing. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't work. I couldn't help people. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't do anything that I was used to doing, anything that I enjoyed doing, anything that brought me purpose. And maybe you've been in this situation before too, where you get sick and you really realize how much you miss and love your life. Or you break your foot and you didn't realize how grateful you were for your feet and how you could walk until it happened. And so I found myself, after week 1, it was kind of like torture mentally, right? I found myself like slipping into like a little bit of a mini depression of feeling sorry for myself, feeling like a victim. I wasn't able to go to the gym, so I couldn't get out, my aggression or get any mental health there. And I did start to gain a little bit of weight. By the end of this, I probably put on about 5 pounds just from not meal prepping, not going to the gym, eating like I would normally go to the gym, and not burning it off. So here I am doing absolutely nothing of a routine that I had so proudly built for so long. And it was like, to say it played games with me mentally is pretty crazy. And I thought it was really important to share these games that I was playing in my head throughout these past 2 weeks, because I know that this is what's happening in your mind, whether you got sick or not. This kind of stuff happens all the time. And what this did to me was remind me of how we cannot take a break. You cannot take a break from being healthy. You don't get to put it on hold because life is busy right now. You don't get to put it on hold until the holidays passed. Okay? You do not get to take from being healthy. You don't get to take a break. Why? Because what happens? The second you allow yourself and you give yourself permission to step back from being healthy or not make it a priority and have it be important, the second the old you was just waiting. They were just waiting. And maybe you've experienced this before. When things didn't go as planned, when you were exposed to more stress than usual, when you couldn't follow your exact routine like you normally would, the old you is waiting. She's been waiting for that moment, and she comes out with a vengeance. She comes out so quickly. And so you can never stop fighting. You don't get to rest. And I don't say that in a scary, oh my God, this is exhausting way, because I don't mean you have to fight for your life 24/7, mentally, but you do have to be on high alert. You do have to be aware that it does not take much to trigger that old you or to let her slip back in. So you always need to be fighting the devil away. That's what the devil is. The devil is complacency. The devil is the old you. The devil is not growing. That is where the devil comes in. And if you don't fight, that devil will win. And guess what that would do? Make you feel even more sorry for yourself. And that's where I was, right? That little battle with the devil was fighting me, was pulling me. I tried to use logic and I tried to rationalize with myself, but that devil was still there. I still felt sorry for myself. I still kept focusing on everything I couldn't do or everything I was gonna do when I could again. And it put me in a headspace where I wasn't strong, where I did take a step backwards, where maybe I could have taken a step forward in another instance. And it also made me realize, all the times that I begged for a break, or I wanted a break, or I needed rest, or I felt like I was burnt out. I realized that rest isn't worth anything unless it is earned. Rest is not worth anything unless it is earned. And so if you are finding yourself resting, which another name for that is, let's call it being lazy, or not living up to your potential, or not doing what you know you should be doing. You've been lazy and resting. Guess when we feel the most anxious? Guess when we feel the most depressed? When we're doing nothing and we haven't earned the right to do nothing. We feel guilty about doing nothing because we know we should be doing something. And as human beings, we were built to work mentally and physically. And not only do you feel guilty for doing nothing, you feel guilty because you know that there's other things that should be getting done. Your to-do list, sending that email, having a tough conversation, getting to the gym, painting the bathroom, planning Thanksgiving, planning the holidays. You know that there's something that needs to get done and you are avoiding it, or you are procrastinating from it because it's a tough decision that needs to be made, or a tough emotional coping mechanism that needs to be faced. Because we think and we trick ourselves, and I do this all the time, into thinking that I need a break and I need a rest and I'm working too much and I'm going to burn out and I'm mentally exhausted. And then when I get that rest, when you get that rest, how does it feel? Maybe it's great for 24 hours. Then you get antsy. Then you feel anxious. Then you start to move and do things because we think we should. And we can't enjoy the rest. And so you will never enjoy getting a break or getting rest in your life unless it is earned. And I didn't earn my rest when I was sick. I didn't earn it. I had to press pause. Now that could have been the universe saying, hey, slow down. Maybe I need to show you a new perspective, which it definitely did. But it wasn't a good feeling. I felt useless. And I felt sorry for myself because I knew that I was capable of more. And I think it was important that I went through that. And I think it's important that you go through that so that you can gain perspective and realize how much you do really love your life and how much you do really enjoy being busy and being productive and accomplishing things. Because that's the only way that we feel validated as humans, is by accomplishing things. It doesn't have to be big things. It can be small things, right? I'm not saying along your weight loss journey, you have to lose weight every single day. Obviously, that would be nice. And is it doable? Absolutely. But is that realistic for you? No. What is an accomplishment that would make you feel like you earned a little rest? And then it's give and take, push and pull. Earn my rest, take my rest. Earn my rest, take my rest. Instead of resting because we're avoiding something, resting because mentally we are procrastinating, resting because we think we should when really we haven't earned it. And so ask yourself, have I been resting, or have I been talking to myself about resting? And that can be anywhere. Resting with work, resting with your health, resting with good decisions, right? Have I been resting, and have I earned that rest? And rest is pretty vague. Taking a break from your health is pretty vague. What are you taking a break from? Why have you associated health with needing a break from it? What life and habits and routine have you created around health that aren't sustainable long-term or aren't important enough to push through when you don't feel like doing them? What have you created? And so these past 2 weeks have been very enlightening in another area as well. And what I noticed was, because this started, to let the old me and my old habits and my old negative self-talk seep back in. Started to seep back in. It didn't win. I'm still here. It didn't win. But it definitely started to seep back in. It was more of a battle than usual. But because that happened, what I recognized was how quickly we feel like we've made no progress. How quickly we forget about how far we've come. It's insane how quick that switch flips. like immediately, like within, like after, honestly, probably after 3 days, those thoughts kept in, right? And I kept feeling not good enough. Why was I even doing this? What is going on? Man, I suck. Oh my God, I have so far to go. Like those, like almost immediately, the second I stopped fighting, they all came, they swarm in with a vengeance, all those thoughts. And I forgot how far I'd come. Oh my God, I had lost 80 pounds. And I felt like I did when I had those 80 pounds still on me. How crazy is that? That's how powerful the devil is. That's how quick. And if you listen to it, you believe it. And if you believe it, you act accordingly. If you've made no progress, no matter if it's tangible or not, whether it's quantifiable or not, because weight loss, that's not to mean it. Have you come far in some sense? Absolutely. You're still alive and you're listening to me talk. So you've made progress to some degree or another. But the second it turns bad, the second it's maybe not so noticeable, your progress, the second your mind is empty and you don't have much to do, or you don't keep yourself engaged and accomplished and busy, you really start to believe you haven't come very far. And does that sound like a very healthy place to be? If you forget about all the hard work you have put in, and if you start to think that it was all for nothing, well, that can spiral very quickly. And so that reminded me of that and how that works. And it reminded me that, oh my God, I constantly need to be reminded of how I've progressed. Otherwise, I'll stop trying. But what this also helped me with was it was another great reminder of just as quickly as you forget about how far you've come, you can go right back into that feeling at your peakest, biggest goal. Remember that feeling when you felt the best? You felt on top of the world. You were unstoppable. You had the routine. You showed up for yourself. You're feeling good. You were looking better. You're wearing smaller clothes. You weren't hiding your body. You were making time for your workouts and your meal prep or your X, Y, and Z, or you got the promotion at work, or you felt more connected with your spouse. Whatever it is, that on top of the world feeling, remember it. Remember that? Remember the last time that happened? The on top of the world feeling could have been recent, could have been months ago, could have been a year ago, whatever it is. But just as fast as we went negative and our minds went south and we completely discredited everything we've ever accomplished, I promise you, just as fast as that has happened, the opposite can occur just as fast, if not faster. 2 days, 48 hours after I feel better and ready to go and pretty much 100%, I now feel close to my on top of the world again. I don't doubt myself. I know how far I've come and I'm re-inspired. Maybe not bouncing off the walls and the huge fire under my ass like it was, but I feel that I'm getting there. And I'm tracking my progress. I still tracked my weight. I still tracked my emotions. I still bounced off my mental battles with Ryan, my husband, to see where I'm at, to see if he could check me, to see if what I was feeling was true, or was it just deceiving me? Was it the devil seeping back in, trying to keep me down, try to keep me stagnant, try to keep me comfortable? And it was just a really cool experience that I wanted to share with you ladies, because, no matter how far you get, no matter how big your accomplishments are, you're one knockdown away from losing it. And I'm sure you've experienced this before. It does not take much to throw us off. It does not take much to throw me off. And I've been doing this and I've been accomplished. It does not take much for me to throw off. The difference is I've already fallen off so many times, I don't panic. It's a familiar feeling to some degree where I'm like, okay, been here before and I've survived it. Okay, I can do this. Even when I don't feel like I can do it, I can always take a second and remember, okay, I felt like this before. It's temporary. And I've created a life, and every time I do fall off, I reevaluate my life and I say, okay, what in my life made this easier to get worse? And what in my life can I implement so that I don't spiral as intensely or as quickly next time? And it's just a great way to, protect yourself. It's silly to think you're not going to spiral again. It's silly to think you're not going to hit a new version of your rock bottom, right? Madison at, 120 pounds, her rock bottom is less of a bottom than Madison at 200 pounds, right? So it's not that we avoid our rock bottoms. It's just that our rock bottoms change, right? For the better. But guess what? They still feel like rock bottom in the moment. And we can't forget about that. It's always there, ladies. It's always around the corner. A new rock bottom, a better rock bottom. But it's still a rock bottom in the moment. So we feel and we think as though we're back to where we started. But I promise you can never do the same thing twice, ever. You've got experience on your side. So you're never doing the same thing twice. Even if you lose 20 pounds and you gain back the same 20 pounds, when you lose that 20 pounds again, it's not the same. You learn more, you grow. You have more tactics, more wisdom to arm you next time. And I think that's important that we get reminded of that. So if you have not been fighting, if you think you need to rest or take a break, especially with your health and your weight loss journey, let me remind you, you cannot take a break. You can ease up. You can change your bare minimums, right? You can expect a little bit less of yourself right now if you need to. Lower the bar. Lower the bar so that, maybe, you don't need to be 0 or 100. You can be 1. You can literally be 1 or 99 or 57. You could be anywhere on that scale. Just don't stop. Because that's when those negative thoughts that always kick in, that is when they are true. When you did stop trying, when you let them win. Because at the end of the day, you just have to dust the dirt off and try again. Because what else do you have to do? What else is worth your time? What else is worthy of your efforts? Nothing. Achieving excellence in your life. Because we're all going to die one day. And who do you want to die? The best version of you. Because that's the version without regrets. That inspired everybody. That pushed herself. That's who you are letting down every time you don't get back up. Or every time that intense negative energy and invalidation of your progress pops up. You have come far. You are worthy to try again. Is it going to be easy? No. You're going to want to give up? Yes. Are you going to feel like you suck and you've done nothing and you've progressed nowhere? Yes. But you just hearing that is progression. Because now you can think outside of yourself. And so I hope that was helpful to you ladies, and I hope that resonated with somebody, with wherever you are in your journey right now. But just as quickly as you spiral, you can feel good again. Repeat that to yourself. Repeat that to yourself. Repeat that to yourself, because it is true and you know it to be true. Your mood can change. Your mindset can change almost immediately if you just give yourself a grace period. And then you got that momentum back. Too many women, they stay in that down for too long, where that positivity, that high feels farther and farther away. But it is one good decision away for you to feel the spark and the motivation and the momentum that you keep wishing you could have. You are one good decision away. And then when you're in that decision, you're another good decision away. Make better decisions, make good decisions more quickly after one another. That's how you build up your momentum. And if you can't do that, if you make one decision and then it's another week till you make another good decision, the good decisions are too big. Lower them. Lower the good decisions until you can until they're repeatable. Until the little decisions you can make fairly quickly after one another. That's the momentum you've been missing. And that's the momentum that I have been building up now that I'm feeling better and I'm not feeling sorry for myself anymore. My momentum is building because I'm choosing the appropriate place to put my energy and effort into good decision. I'm not expecting myself to work out as intense as I was 2 weeks ago. I'm not expecting for myself to be able to run as long as I used to, or to even be perfect on my food. I'm not expecting that of myself because I just went, because that would be me going from 0 to 100, like legitimately, right? Like I was ordering more food than usual. I wasn't prepping. I wasn't making the best decisions. Wasn't going into the sauna to help with my bloating and my swelling. Like everything was off. And I could see my body change. And I didn't like it. And it was miserable. So start small. Build up your momentum. You're worth it.